Good morning, happy Saturday, and welcome to another episode of Writer Corner. I am your host, H.M. Barone. So it's been quite the interesting and productive week. I picked up a couple extra hours at my day job over the week and was able to get a fair amount of editing done. I've got 1.5 storylines left. My new tablet came in, so I'm going to be able to sit down and do some actual writing with a piece of technology that will play nice with me for a change. My laptop is on its way out. My tablet's only really good for playing a couple of games and posting to Facebook and Instagram. And my phone, well, let's face it, the screen is just a smidge too small for me to be doing a whole lot of writing on and still be able to see what I'm doing. So I went and I broke down and I picked myself up a new Kindle Fire, and I have it all set up to write. And hopefully come October, I will be making the final push for the last draft of the Way of the Fist Royal Emissary book, so that whenever my amazing art goddess is done with the cover art, then I will be able to publish it. I want to take a moment to give a big happy birthday shout out to my evil mastermind. You know who you are. I hope you have a great day today. Not sure how long this episode's going to be. My day job has made some changes, and I am quite often left to my own devices in my own head, which may not be the best place for me to be. But, yeah, so I've been doing a lot of writing in my head and working on my characters, working on storyline and whatnot. So I'm hoping to be done with this book and on to the second by the end of the year. My days off have been spent in my room for the most part working on my books, although I did get a few things done yesterday or Thursday, because it's now Saturday. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a blur this week again, picking up hours and helping people out and all of the drama and whatnot with the day job. So yeah, that's been a whole thing. Pardon the screaming. That is my spoiled rotten 21-pound cannonball demanding attention, and the slight tremors in the filming are compliments of my prissy Calico, who insists upon laying right next to the tripod and grooming. So yes, my four-legged children are bound and determined to make my life as interesting as humanly possible. My younger child is flying across the country next Thursday. My parents are taking them and their friends to the Buffalo airport next Thursday, and so it'll just be me and the four-legged children for 4 full days. So that should be interesting. I don't know if it'll be productive or not. We'll see. But supposed to have the weekend off. Hoping to have the weekend off. Also have Tuesday off. But I'm going in early today because one of my friends, her son is having his first football game of the year. Now, personally, I'm not a football person, but I am always more than willing to help out a coworker, especially one with kids. because family's important. And it's always important to let your kids know how much you care about them. So 2 hours today, 4 hours on Tuesday, it's not quite the expansive check that I had from last week, but then again, it was hours that I got to pick up. And hey, I seem to be the go-to girl there, so yay. But in doing my editing, I have realized that I have been woefully lax on a lot of the storyline for Varkus and the Warriors, which is one of the prominent storylines because it's where Mythos came from before he leaves on this mission for the king. And these relationships that he's built, this group of soldiers that he has ingratiated himself to, they become important. Everything that happens in that particular storyline is significantly relevant, not only in the third book, but in later books. And then the storyline for the royal children, that one I realized I didn't give as much TLC as I could have, as I should have. So when I go back and do this rewrite, it is definitely getting a lot more attention. And then the last one that I have to edit yet is the Elven Civil War. So that's going to be a fun one. I know that the first two storylines that I worked on are admittedly my favorite. Kaelin and Hajib, their storyline actually sprang from D&D campaign characters, but I wanted more diversity in this particular book the second time around, because when I first wrote it, it very heavily focused on Blythe, and while she is my favorite character and the whole reason that I wrote the books in the first place, after having read the first couple of Game of Thrones books, working on the Witcher series, reading Jacqueline Carey's books, I've realized that diversifying the storyline and following other characters is just as important, if not more so, because whatever impacts them may or may not later on down the line impact the other characters, and as with everything in life. But and now that I've been listening to the Raymond D. Feist series on Audible, the audiobooks, I'm currently on my 13th audiobook of the year, and my evil mastermind and his wife have turned me on to another audiobook series or app that allows you to listen for free without having to pay. Now, don't get me wrong. As an author, I fully respect and promote these audiobook sites. However, I think that sometimes these apps price gouge. I'm not above paying $13, $14, $15 for a book, because I've been there. I've spent months, years working on a book. And wondering if it was worth it, wondering if I was a fraud, wondering if I really was a writer. So I don't begrudge these authors their royalties. But like I said, I think that a lot of these audio app companies are doing it more to line their own pockets, where Simply E is the New York Public Library app, and any books that they have, audiobooks, are free. So I have since downloaded the entire Jules Verne collection that they have, and that will be the first thing that I listen to when I am done with Raymond E. Feist's series, which may or may not take significantly more time than I had originally anticipated. However, with all of the traveling that I've been doing by myself lately, I've knocked out a fair chunk of the books of late. And now that some friends from work and I are going to be doing some foodie experiences, it's nice to be able to listen to those books as I travel to wherever it is that I'm going to be meeting them for sustenance. So yeah, and having reconnected with my evil mastermind and his beautiful, beautiful wife, and going out and hanging out with them and doing the whole foodie thing, that is definitely afforded me time for my audiobooks. But I've been really trying to focus on my own work, and I think I've done a fair job of it. Like I said, I knocked out a good chunk of the editing of this most recent draft over the last 2 weeks, especially, with all of the overtime that I've been putting in. Today, like I said, I have to go in early, but I'm still hoping to get a good amount of editing done here as well. If I can finish up the storyline of the Monster War that I've been working on, then I am hoping to just knuckle down on Tuesday on my day off and knock out this last chunk of chapters with the Elven Civil War. My publishing company is currently not running any specials, but over the entire month of July, I sold probably about 60 copies, and I sold in the lightest possible terms because my Zoe Jane books were available for free. And the first Way of the Fist book, which I don't believe anybody purchased because, people like free stuff, was $1. Now, granted, I tend to sell more books when they are free, but I mean, at least people are getting them. They could go someplace else and get another book for free, but they're choosing mine, for which I am eternally grateful. But I'm hoping to make this next book, Royal Emissary, worth it, worth keeping at the price point that I set it at. But who knows? I have issues of my own with myself, as we all do, I'm sure. But it's been great being able to spend time working on my books this week, to spend time with some friends that I haven't seen in a while, to reconnect with my work wife, with whom I had coffee yesterday morning. It was great. I only see her like once a week now, and it's killing me. But here is hoping that you have a safe weekend and a productive week. Um, Hopefully I have something a little bit more useful to say next week. So like and subscribe. Thanks so much. Have a good one.